Here we go again. Hey Blades, it looks like another one of those days. It's one of those, if Wilder didn't know how big of a job he had on before the game today, he definitely knows it now, because that was, there was a lot wrong with what we've seen again today. Very similar to what we've seen previously, in all honesty. Maybe we were a little bit better with the ball. Slow, passive, not willing to take risks, unable to create chances, all still true, but we were a little more competent, looking for a positive. We were slightly less destructive of ourselves defensively. It's hard to find any kind of positives coming out, but let's take a minute, reflect on it all. Obviously, if you go back right to the start, I thought the welcome that Wilder got was fantastic. Obviously, the fantastic work that we've done, getting that sort of tifo up, getting some of the flags together. It meant that we had a really raucous Bramall Lane in terms of starting us off, in terms of getting us going right from the first minute. I thought that was fantastic to see. I thought it was great that we had the atmosphere that we did, that the fans had obviously turned out, done everything they could to try and get the team going today, to welcome Wilder back, to make sure that everybody could feel united once again. It felt like a big day, a proper day, a day where our season should have begun, a day where we should have all come out smiling, excited, looking forward to the future of Sheffield United. And then the game started, and from the minute the game started, it was turgid, I think is a good word to describe it. I thought the first half was boring, I think, is probably the word to use. I thought with the ball, we probably had a good 10 minutes around the middle part of the half. There was a moment where we managed to, Ogbene, we managed to get him on the ball a little bit. He managed to run at his man, managed to create a little bit. He was a bit predictable, always going onto his right foot, but the one time he came inside, tried to go on his left, he did create a little bit of panic through the Charlton defence, and it was the only moment we really had that created any kind of panic. Unfortunately, we then couldn't do anything with the ball. Ogbene had our first shot of the game, probably around the 25th minute. It was a header from the centre of the box, just put it wide. That seemed to spark us into life, and I actually thought from that point on, we had a good 5 or 10 minutes. We took control of this game. We actually, for the only time in the 90 minutes, attacked with a little bit of purpose. We managed to get the ball forward. We were moving a little bit quicker. We were shifting around the Charlton defenders. We managed to have a shot on target, albeit it was from about 30 yards and it was Harmer from a free kick. But it at least showed a little bit of a sign of intent. It looked as though we were trying to get something about us. And then the only real chance of the half comes. And again, it did not come United's way. The only chance of the half went to Charlton. It was a fantastic double save from Michael Cooper. I couldn't believe it when he saved the first one. Never mind when he got up to make sure he stopped the rebound. It was a header. It had been chipped over to the back post, headed it back across goal. He dived at full stretch to keep it out, and then responded really well in terms of keeping the second out. And that felt like progress. You know, that felt like a team who were ready to fight a little bit more, who were going to do a little bit more in terms of making us hard to beat, in terms of being defensively solid, in terms of making sure that we weren't going to be easy to beat. And that at half-time, I wasn't enamoured. I wasn't sat there saying, oh, this is good, we're going to be a proper United again. But I was stood there thinking, actually, if we can nick a goal, if we can just get the confidence flowing into this team, that sort of 5-10 minute spell where we'd been a little bit more proactive, where we'd been a little bit faster with the ball, that gave us a blueprint for what we could maybe be going forwards. I think there's still the problems of individual players who just aren't at the level. Ben Godfrey at right back, he just does not know what he's doing. The lad's got 2 England caps. And I mean, all of a sudden I'm starting to think I might get 2 England caps, because there's got to be a chance if that's the kind of quality that you've got to be demonstrating. He just looks completely ragged. He was getting run down the wing by Tyrese Campbell, the Charlton Tyrese Campbell, and yeah, that's where their chances have come. That's where we got to half-time. I thought it's been boring, it's been a bit dull, but if we can get some confidence, get a little bit of luck, have something go our way, we might be able to create. The other main part of that first half that obviously we have to shout out, and it's a positive, it's something that was really great to see from the fans, was the minute's applause for Maddy Cusack. Obviously, they stopped the game, which I thought was brilliant. It's a really nice bit of respect, that, from the referee, to make sure that nobody's distracted, nobody's moving on. We were able to fully appreciate the moment and really give a proper round of applause and a proper memory for Maddy Cusack. So that was fantastic to see, and it was great that the players, the referee, and all of the fans were able to come together to celebrate that moment. That then takes us into the second half, and to be honest, I talked about some positives. 5 minutes of trying to play forward, a shot on target, something. There wasn't really any of that in the second half. It was really, really disappointing. We had a lot of the ball. We were passing it around, but nobody, again, this is the big risk for me right now. And this is what I'm so worried about with this team, is that we should be better on the ball. We should have players who have the quality to hurt teams, who have the quality to try and get us forward, to do something a little bit different. But it was so safe and easy. I could tell you where United are going to pass the ball, because it's usually backwards or sideways, and it's to a player who's got a little bit of space, so he can take a touch, look around, then he can pass it backwards or sideways. And they can go to the next player, and he can go, oh, I've got the ball, I can pass it backwards or sideways, yay! And nobody wants to take a chance. Nobody wants to get their foot on the ball, beat their man, get to the byline, whip it across goal. Nobody wants to take a little bit of a jink, do their man, beat him on the inside, try and create that little bit of space where you can have a moment of magic to create a chance. Tyrese Campbell completely isolated, completely out of the game. We subbed him off, put Tom Cannon on, completely isolated, completely out of the game. Neither of them had any opportunity, any chance to really affect the game in this one. Harmer, we got him on the ball a little bit more in the first half, didn't get him anywhere near the ball in the second. Callum O'Hare disappeared completely in the second half. He wasn't involved in the game, wasn't able to get on the ball. The more you looked at this team, the more you thought, we look a bit more solid. Defensively, we're not making, oh no, wait a minute, City Peck's going to fall over, and all of a sudden they're in on goal. But we're not going to make too many, oh no, Tanganga's fallen over and they're in on goal. There was still those defensive mistakes creeping in. It felt like a more controlled performance. It felt as though we were a little bit better on the ball. Maybe we were a little bit more controlled, but we still were forcing ourselves into mistakes. We still weren't able to keep Charlton at bay. We still had so much of a soft centre in terms of whenever they came at us, they looked like the team who were going to score. And of course, we get to the 90th minute and you think, you know what, it's been boring, it's been rubbish, it's been 0-0. And we're going to get away with a poor performance, but finally a point. Maybe something to build a little bit of confidence, something we can hang our hats on and go, you know what, a point is better than nothing. We're on the board, we can kick on from here. But no, that's not what we got at all. We got through that point, we got to the area where 90 minutes on the clock, maybe you just see it out. No, not at all. Some really poor defending down our left. Burrows had a really poor start to the season. It's whipped across goal and it's so easy. It's a tap-in for the lad in the middle, goes straight through Cooper. It's 1-0 and it's defeat again. It's not just bottom of the league now, it's rock bottom of the league. There's only two teams in this division who haven't won a game, us and Oxford. We play them next week, so rock and a hard place. Is one of us finally going to get a result? And would anybody actually bet on it being us? I know for a fact that I wouldn't. So yeah, this was supposed to be the day the season started, and unfortunately it feels a lot more like the day where it confirmed to us we will be in a relegation battle. That's the big message I've got here. Wilder has got a huge job on his hands to not just train some tactics and some forward planning in terms of repeatable patterns, in terms of what are we going to do when we've got the ball, who's going to move for each other, how are you going to believe in each other and have these moments where you actually understand what another player is going to try and do. It's not about that right now. We need some confidence, we need some belief. These players look absolutely sharp, and if we're going into a relegation battle, I don't know about you, but I don't trust any of these. I do not trust a single one of them, because they've shown no fight for 7 games now this season. It's not that they've had a 1 or 2, they've had a bad week. No, they've been awful for 7 games. And I don't know why. I was naive. I'd convinced myself that, you know, we'll bring Wilder back and he'll be the solution. He'll fix it because they'll suddenly be happy again. They'll be confident. Well, they weren't. And it's a long, long journey to get some confidence back into this team, into this starting 11. It's a long journey back to get us anywhere near where we want to be. And you know what? I think we can say goodbye to it. Do not think about promotion. Do not think about anything other than avoiding a relegation battle right now, because this is awful. It's as bad a start to the season as anybody has had in a long time in the Championship. We will probably be setting records for the worst start that anybody has had coming into a Championship season. To recover it from here is a long, long journey. We've got to put our belief in Chris. We've got to put our belief in this new coaching team, that they're going to come in and get more out of these players. But it's a bad start, because that was really, really poor today. Were there some bright sparks? Maybe. I tried to cover them. I've tried to be generous. But again, it was poor. And there's a long, long, long road back for Sheffield United. And more than anything else, I'm just worried tonight. I'm worried that this is going to be a long, hard season. And I'm stood. And it's absolutely battering it down. And I am absolutely soaked. I am getting wetter and wetter. And so it's probably time for me to go home. But what do you say? I don't know. It's got to get better. We've got to be better next week. But brace yourselves, because this is a relegation battle. This is a rubbish, rubbish scene. And we've got a lot of work on to get ourselves out of this mess. Let's hope they can do it. Let's hope they can take us forwards. Let's hope there is a better future still to come, because it's got to be better than this. Ole, ole, ole.
Ole, ole, ole.